everyone, welcome to another episode in Minecraft. We are going to go right into the Nether. Why am I going into the Nether? Just need to get some frog lights for a future build, not for particularly for this build today, but we might need them for a future build. So we're going to have to go and find the spot where we're going to go and put this frog farm. Kind of going to have to find the basalt delta, which is really not that far away. There we go. Now we're in the basalt delta and that gray sky, and we're gonna get right to the build as we go. All right, so I'm gonna put some switches underneath here. There is lots of YouTube videos on how to make this frog farm. If you kind of want to know, I'm just going with the most common one. So we're gonna throw some switches. We got some rails on top, and I got some mine carts with hoppers, and should be able to pick up everything we have there. All I have to do is just throw that right on there, and the hopper minecart will start activating and moving up and down. And all we have to do is just slap some chains on here as well. All right, so now we got to go and fly to the right biome. We should have a swamp that is just a little bit beyond where my mansion is. Last I remember, just from me cruising around trying to find just general stuff, and I just remembered where my swamp is, so we're gonna head right over there. All right, here is my swamp area. There is lots of stuff going on down there. Lots of monsters, some zombies, some slimes, which we're gonna probably need anyway. Give me that slime. Give me it. Give me that slime. No need you scumbags. I want that slime. So yeah, we're gonna need the slime to like basically breed the frogs anyway. I need them slime balls, and we're gonna have to go and find some frogs to bring with us as well. Get out of here, zombies. Go away. Oh, one of the bogs. I haven't ran into one of these yet. First bog kill. So yeah, let's go and look around and see if we could find some frogs. All right, so we found some frogs. There's a whole bunch of them. Now, we only got this one color of frog, so I'm going to have to probably breed some of them because I can move the tadpoles using the water bucket and stuff. That's why I have a few water buckets. So I can kind of bring them closer to base instead of having to boat them over here. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. And these guys have to be a little bit closer to water as well. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of water right down there. So when these two make love, they're going to go and be able to plant their seed, or whatever we're going to call it, their eggs. Yeah. So they can just plant their eggs right there. Beautiful. And then once those hatch, I can go and get more tadpoles. So we're going to have to wait a while. We're going to have to go and maybe just chill out in the swamp until that is finished. All right, so now we got some tadpoles that we can actually start to transport. I only got 3 of these things, but I only need 2 to just breed them anyway. We could always do more breeding at the base, so we can kind of transport them wherever we need to transport them. So as much as I like watching all these frogs make whoopee, I'm out of here. I think I had enough of that kind of stuff going on. That is not really entertaining to watch and kind of gross. All right, so I made a little bit of an enclosure here right back at base, and we're just gonna dump all our tadpoles in here. We're gonna let them grow, and then we can start really building up selection of frogs. That we're gonna probably have to make a couple of these containment areas so we can actually get the right color of frogs, because some frogs only grow in certain biomes, or certain colors grow in certain biomes. So we're gonna have to do that. Yeah, so really the hardest part of trying to grow frogs is just the waiting. It's the waiting part that's the worst. So we got some white ones because we're in the savanna biome. And then we're going to go and work on our next one. All right, so we are right back into our savanna. I was thinking if I got high enough, would I be able to get frogs, the green frogs, because I'm in a different climate? And the answer for that is no. So the green frogs, I'm going to have to put into another enclosure, and I'm gonna have to find the right biome for that one, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to do that the hard way. Alright, so I already made the enclosure in the snowy biome over here, which is really close to this jungle area. It should be easy to transport them once they're fully grown. So I made sure that there was some lights in there so none of the water or whatever would freeze in there. I think that's probably the tricky part. As green frogs are like kind of like the hardest ones to really get, unless you're near a tundra or whatever. It is a little bit of a ways away. Beggars can't be choosers at this point, but you gotta do what you gotta do for progress. And my final location for the frogs, this is actually one of the easiest ones, which is close to the base. I just found this little patch of a moderate climate. So we should be able to maybe just walk these ones all the way back to base. You can kind of see where the tower of power over there is for the elevator. I am going to actually put a portal up there so I can get to the roof of the nether and then put another portal up there so we can just easily transport them. There probably is going to have to be a bubble elevator up there, but that should be all the frogs. I do want to make sure that there's like a few extra, so I'm going to probably go back to each of those farms so I can just kind of make sure that there is more than enough and I don't have to keep transporting stuff over and over again. Or even if the frogs die for whatever reason, there's a good chance that those things might croak not exactly in a good way that you want them to. Well, the time has finally came and I died a horrible, horrible, horrible death. So lost a good majority of my stuff. The biggest one I probably lost was my netherite prick. the worst one that you get. I got like another netherite ingot. I could probably make a new pick, but just losing all that stuff I've actually been using since I got them is just kind of heartbreaking. The nice thing is at least my elytra didn't get killed in the explosion. So long story short, I fell off. I had my elytra on, but I didn't really stick the landing. And then I went to go and retrieve it, and basically a creeper came over and exploded while I was trying to retrieve all my stuff because I wasn't looking for whatever reason. So I guess that's my own stupidity. So today is transport day for the frogs. We're going to move the frogs all the way to the bubble elevator, and we're going to put them into the machine, which isn't really complete. I just needed to get the frogs in there before I start putting more blocks on things. So yeah, we're gonna have to go and maybe use a couple of boats. But the nice new feature with Minecraft is that you can tether boats, so it's not just one boat I'm gonna need. I can use several boats, so I got several on me. Let's get these frogs back into their little cave here. Come on, knock it off. There we go. So I just need like a couple there anyway. I don't want to make it like overly efficient because it's not really necessary. Yeah, we're going to just yeet ourselves right off the mountain there, and we're going to get right into the boat. And then we're just going to get a whole bunch of other frogs down into that area. And we're going to tether them and then head back home. And all of our frogs are all ready to go. Let's go and tether up the boats. I guess I could have probably put more than one frog in each boat, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll just work it the most inefficient way. Trying to like wrestle two frogs in there was kind of ridiculous. Do not recommend doing this at night. I had so much trouble with monsters in the area, but let's get these squirts home. So we got the moment of truth here. We got our frog, our green one. So we're gonna try to manipulate him to come into this bubble elevator. Comes slowly but surely, and up he goes. And then we'll follow him up there, so keep him on a lead and try to get him into the right spot. It's a very long bubble elevator, so let's try to get him in here. The lead should break and he should get through. There we go. Broken. All right, so now I should be able to get through, and that frog should be there. And Ribbit. All right. So let's get them over to the device or the farm that we're going to put them in. Get spawn some magma cubes and Hopefully we'll be able to get some frog lights out of it. From the looks of it, this farm is like majorly efficient, so I do recommend. It's like very simple to put together. Some of the stuff in there isn't too bad, or just not really super difficult stuff to get at. And we'll walk this frog all the way to the place, just because putting him in a boat is going to be kind of pointless. Seems to be walking pretty good. And then trying to get this frog, getting him up these stairs is kind of a pain. Of course, I broke my lead. We're just going to try to get him up there as quick as we can. This is going to be the hardest one to get in there, just because it is the most difficult frog to get. And you think about it, the amount of time that actually has passed, you only get to see a few minutes of video, but it's taken me like hours to get all this stuff done. Like, not just the machine, it was like trying to get the resources, trying to get the frogs. But I do enjoy doing this, and we're gonna make this. There we go. And you go. The hardest frog in there. We're gonna probably bring in 8 more frogs of the different varieties. So we'll have like 9 frogs in there, 3 of each type, and that should be it. And we'll come back and we'll get them all in there. Alright, so we have all 9 of our frogs, all 3 different types are all in there. Now we can build the rest of this machine so we can just get all of our frog lights, and we'll just see what happens. I've never built anything like this before, so here we go. Our machine is complete. We threw in some iron golems in there and got the frogs ready on the bottom there, so all we have to do is just go really, really high up here, and magma cubes should start spawning, and the iron golem should kill them to little ones, the little magma cubes or whatever, and then the frog should be able to eat the little ones, and we should be able to get frog lights that way. I can already see that the machine is already working there. There is quite a bit of murder going on there. We will end up getting some magma cream at the same time as well. Not a ton of it, but really this is just more for the frog lights. If I really needed magma creams badly, I would probably just go and use my sword and get them myself, basically. So yeah, it seems to be working just great. We're going to leave that machine running for a little bit. I'm going to go AFK, and then we'll see how much we get in the end. Alright, so I'm going to let it run for quite a bit. I went out and got a drink and just kind of watched a few YouTube videos on the side, trying to make sure I didn't die, to see these iron golems kill these things. I did notice that these iron golems were taking a little bit of damage, so we're going to have to probably make sure we have a couple iron borers, or we might have to actually put new iron golems in there eventually. But let's see what our haul looks like, and we got like roughly about 3 stacks in an hour. That's pretty good. I don't know if I'm ever going to really use, I don't know if I'm really going to use all of these. Like I said, we did get a few magma cream as well, but that's all right. don't really need the magma cream. I really don't do potion. Once you get like enchanted gear, it's kind of like potions are kind of like a little bit pointless. I don't really use potions very much, so we're gonna head back to our base, and we're gonna start on our next project out on the island. So the first place we're actually going to build in here is we're gonna go and build right in front of the fountain, or the thing I'm calling the fountain, basically. We're going to use mostly sandstone and birch. I'm going to be building a city hall that is actually representative of the city hall that it is exactly like the one in my city where I'm from. And so, I don't know, if you want any reference for it, just look at Calgary City Hall, and then you can kind of see what we're going to do with it. It's not going to be a scale replica, just for like time, and also kind of like the size of it. I don't think I could put the entire city hall in there, but I think it's kind of like the perfect place to kind of like put this building right now, because it is going to be, we need something that's kind of like a government type building. We don't have anything like that at all right now. Right now, all we have are just shops and everything. So, yeah, we're going. It might look a little bit plain. I'm going to try my very best to kind of put as much detail in there, but I don't want to put too much dark blocks or anything in there because I think it will just kind of be overly contrasting to what the building looks like. Let's get that started. So yeah, okay, right now I'm gonna put in some stairs right now just so we can kind of get a good idea where the entrance and how big it is. I'm gonna do something most Minecrafters don't do, is build on evens. So everything's gonna be on even. I might regret that in the future, but I guess my fountain honestly is in evens anyway, and I can always change that. Not a huge problem, but I do want it to be kind of in line with the fountain. Okay, so anyway, I had a very, very busy week. While I'm building all this, I might as well just tell you basically how my week has been going. And I was going to go camping, and our camping trip was on June 17th. And we were going to go out there, and we're like looking at the weather report and like, man, it's going to be really, really cold. We're just like, yeah, it's just going to be raining that one day. So we kind of like skipped it a day or whatever. We waited just one more day to go and do this trip. And we head out there and there is snow on the ground. Welcome to Canada, folks. It's June 16th, 17th, and there's snow on the ground. So needless to say, we basically did a day trip out there, and I just wish our trip could have went better. It was going to be our first camping trip of the season, and we get snow. Nothing but fun times with that one. Just a real shame. Too bad. So in the photo that I'm looking at, or referencing, should I say, the roof on it's supposed to look a little bit like kind of pinkish, and I kind of don't want to use any more pink. After that pink and purple build, I don't think I want to be using pink anymore for a little bit of reason. But we'll use the granite instead. I think it'll be a good substitute for that. And I think the only problem with it is like it's a little too close to kind of like the same tone as the sandstone. I think it will probably work. I think we'll probably use a little bit more of a darker theme on the inside to make it not look so overly white or light, as I should say. And we're doing a little bit of a flyby here. I have finished the building on the interior and the exterior of this building. It looks really nice actually at night. Not like I sleep through all that, so I can work during the day without having any problems. Alright, you monsters, get out of here. Okay, so this is what our building looks like. You can kind of see it around this building, and it kind of just like really fills up the area. It looks really nice. Very representative, exactly what I kind of see in the picture. Mind you, I did have to take some liberties with it, with the sandstone, and well, actually the building is made out of sandstone, so the materials I was using was quite appropriate. But it is, that's supposed to be a clock tower up there, but I couldn't do anything to make it look properly like a clock tower. Once again, it is a scale. If I was going to do this building again, I would probably make it 3 times as wide, so the windows would be like 3 wide instead of like just 1 wide. It was supposed to really go like way back. Even if when I was cutting it down, it was going to go right over into the water anyway, and I didn't want it to be that big. So this is the main entrance of it, and you can just see kind of like how big the scale is. So we got the main room right here, and I have 2 offices here, and I'm kind of using the carpet to like kind of like hide the hidden lighting and everything. I did want to use some of these shroom lights, they just light up things a little bit better. I was going to use the frog lights, but in the time of this recording, I actually haven't finished the frog light farm. Made these little offices and whatever, just for some clerks or whatever. We have the basement where the library is. I do have to get some more books to go and fill up some of these shelves, but it looks actually pretty good. So we're going to get any references or any old documents that we need to get, we'll get in the basement as the archives. So let's go up to the next level. And the next level is where the mayor's office is, basically. We got like 2 little balconies right here that you can look out, see the world, see what we're kind of like building in. And I got another balcony out here with a kind of a nicer view. This is kind of like where the mayor's gonna go have his secret drink after a long day's work or during the middle of the day's work. So we got like a little bit of a reception desk here, so you can go see the mayor properly. And then this is his office. Put in some more of these bookshelves, but there is a button on here. There we go. And then you have the alarms. So all those bells are kind of like in the clock tower, and I kind of had to do some really janky redstone to get it in there. Right there, it's kind of more, that's more of a maintenance hatch. And then I got like this big empty room. I could probably just use that for like backup storage or whatever, but mostly it's the maintenance hatch for the bells. It is a clock tower. I don't think the bells in our city hall actually ring. And I'm not like talking about the new city hall. This is like more the old city hall. And I did visit it once when I was like maybe around grade 3 or whatever, or 4. And I just remember going into that old city hall and actually where the mayor's desk was. It was tiny. It was like the smallest little room. It was like a closet almost. I'm just like, you think the mayor would be working in a way bigger office, and he wasn't. So anyways, that should do it for this week's episode. Thanks for joining me. Everybody like, subscribe, really helps out the channel. Hopefully we will see you in the next one. Say hello to your mother for me. All right, laters.